64.
64. That's when I started. Barton, it was Barton and the Schultz at that time. They built a service station on, and Bill asked me if I'd manage the service station.
Okay.
Because I was a farmer, and Phyllis didn't like the farm.
Okay.
So I sold the farm, but
What was
that
the...
would have been about 64.
Well,
54, I mean.
no, yeah. See, you married Mum in 51,
That would have been
and
about,
shortly after that,
Yeah.
you started working there, right?
yeah, but then when we drove back and forth. See, Mum worked at the DV. And then when I was busy putting the crop in, I didn't work. I took time off the garage.
Where was your farm?
Do you know where the English Cemetery is?
The which cemetery?
The English Cemetery?
No.
What's that highway, that road there that goes?
627.
Oh,
627, yeah.
just behind the lake here.
Well, it was about 8 miles southwest of Stoney.
Okay. Okay. So it'd still be there, right? They relocated it?
It's still there, but the house has been knocked down.
Oh, okay.
The barn is still there. Dad died when I was 15, 16, coming 16, then I farmed
Okay.
2.5 quarters of land.
That was a lot of work.
And we had cattle, and milked 8 cows night and morning before I went to school.
Yeah.
We had about 100 pigs all the time.
Milk and
The
cows.
worst I hated, we had a John Deere tractor with those big lugs.
Uh-huh. We had the old John Deere with the 2 cylinders and the what was it called, petcocks or something.
Yeah,
You had to
yeah.
prime it on the
Big-
side and the big flywheel
Yeah,
to
yeah.
start it.
Yeah.
And if you weren't careful, you had to make sure your thumb were in the
Yeah.
right place, and you swung that wheel right, because every once in a while it would kick back. You know?
Yeah.
And
Well, we lived there till you were born in Stoney.
You're in 55.
I think we moved the house to town in 54.
Dad, Mum's report in here says that in 62, Grandpa retired and you and Wilbur took over. 1962. He worked for you guys as a salesman for a few years, but he retired officially.
Yeah.
but when you first started there, you were what was your job? When
Out in my, yeah.
was that building that's there now? That wasn't actually built though when you started managing the service station. It was one of those older buildings, right?
Yeah.
So when did they? Was that a brand new building in that grand opening, 1964?
No.
Okay.
No. In fact, I'm sure that building burnt down one time, and that one was built out of blocks. I remember when I was a little boy, we went to town next day to watch see where the fire had been. But I don't know how long ago that was. That was years.
Okay.
And Arthur Graydon built that block building for him.
Arthur.
Graydon.
And so that would be the building that's there now.
That's the building.
And that would have been maybe the late 50s, or maybe.
Yeah.
I can probably get that information from the town records.
When it was built, yeah.
Yeah. So when that was built, what was your job there then? Were you still
Well, I was still
managing?
farming, yeah.
You were still farming.
I was young.
Okay. Yeah, because you would have been. What year were you born?
26,
1926.
4th of February.
That was the Depression years. You were right in. Or no, that was just prior to the Depression. Like
It
that was
cold.
3 or 4 years, because it was 29, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was the dirty 30s.
30.
4 pounds.
How much?
4 pounds. And they put me in a shoebox in the warming oven.
Where were you born?
Right in
Out at the farm.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Dad had to go get the nursery.
We have a picture of his farmhouse actually up there if you want to get a picture of that.
Okay.
The end room is where he was born.
Okay.
Yeah. Dad had to go up with the horse.
Why did I write 62 here?
Yeah, that's when Dad and Wilbur took over the garage.
Okay, Dave and Wilbur.
So that'll be the beginning of Barth and Gosset.
Savoy Tire was the tire shop.
Okay. So you had other components to that business then. You had
We had
Plymouth Chrysler.
sat by the toy tire. And then the building they tore down now. besides Sabbath. That was the Ford Ranch. We bought that, and that was our used car, new cars and used cars. It was there that Bill worked for the guy there. Anderson had built it,
Yeah.
and Bill was the only mechanic. Well, that was there a long, long time.
And it was there like in the 70s. That was still there, wasn't it?
Oh,
It just came down just before they started.
Down.
Wasn't there still cars and stuff there in the 70s? And
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we had it. That was our showroom.
so when did you retire from that?
So you probably retired about 25 years ago. About 60. You were about 65, weren't you? Now you're 90.
Yeah. Maybe a little sooner.
25, 26 years ago, something like that.
Somewhere
Yeah.
there.
Well, I see that picture from 1964 or 63, the grand opening of the Savoy Tire. That picture that you're in there, you look like you were maybe late 30s, early 40s or something. So that would be about, let's see, that would be 38. Yeah, he'd have been 38
yeah.
years old then.
Yeah.
So that picture kind of looks, that's what I was guessing, late 30s, early 40s. Eh? Because the information I was reading about 1946 or something in there with it said something about Barth and Gosset at 1946. I think that's incorrect.
Yeah,
There's a
that's too
typo
early.
or something. Because you started there as the service station manager before you owned any of the business. So you were working there.
Yeah.
But then,
It was Bart and Underschultz and I went there.
yeah.
And then Wilbur and I brought out John. Don't ask me what year. It was tough when we started.
Uh-huh. Yeah, 'cause-
They had the three things. They had International Harvester
Oh, we
Plymouth
had,
and Chrysler. Those were the main things that towards the end, right? Those were
but
the
we
main
had all those old models. See, we were a big international dealer,
yeah, you were into the farm equipment
Yeah.
too.
and they had trucks,
Right.
and they wouldn't let us have a car franchise. So we had all that off-breed stuff that didn't have. We had Austin, we had Nash. What else and then we had. They let us have cars, so we sublet that to Waterloo Motors Net, and we sublet to them. But we couldn't sell any Ford trucks, just cars, their own trucks.
Oh, right.
If we
Okay.
didn't, if we sold it to somebody else's, in the upstairs where we used to have the Christmas parties.
Oh yeah, there was
So when you would watch the parade up there, what was up there when
It was
you
just tables and like for coffee and
storage and
maybe storage
Yeah,
in
and
the
the whole
back.
back part was tires and packed to the ceiling.
okay. And what do you remember of your history growing up there? Like, did you go into the shop much or?
Well, I did, but
Well, she worked there.
oh yeah, I pumped gas
Oh, so you were there.
when I was in high school. Easter break, spring break.
Sure.
I pumped gas because they had, there were different, they had Gulf at one time, and before that one started with an R.
We had Redhead, we had Golf.
Redhead.
Redhead. I never heard of that.
Yeah. There was another one too, Dad, before the Gulf. I worked there when it was Gulf.
Before Redhead,
No, after that.
Golf.
There wasn't another one in between there?
I don't think so.
So you had the service station, you had the Harvester, International Harvester farm equipment, you had Chrysler, you had a dealer room, showroom, used cars. So you had the whole
Yeah.
gambit,
Oh, yeah.
including the farm equipment,
Yeah,
Yeah.
plus the service station.
yeah.
That land down by the highway where the trailer court is,
Yeah.
that was ours. We had used machinery there.
Oh, that's where you would store all your big equipment, your
Yeah.
combines and tractors and whatnot,
Yeah.
balers or whatever you had. Well, International Harvester is still in business, isn't it? Don't
Oh,
they
yeah.
still?
Yeah,
They still.
Henry George across the road, across the highway.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a good dealer. Good dealer.
Yeah.
Good guy.